Hello YouTube, welcome back. October 2025, and I think it's number 6, the 6th one of these I've done, the annual property market review for macadamia farms in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales. I've started here on Lychee Drive, Rosebank, because one of the properties, which actually lists itself as 465 Rosebank Road, Rosebank, is up for sale. And it's across the road from one that sold in June last year for 1.75 million. It's not as large as that farm, and I don't think it has as many trees, or it may do, but you can see the difference. That farm's had every second row of trees removed, and you can see where trees are now happily growing into the space, and they're looking beautiful. This farm here has a bit of work to do. It was probably very similar to the farm across the road at one point, but the row spacing is closer. Would you need to remove every second row? I'm not sure about that. You could possibly do a prune. The trees are old Hawaiians. There's about 1,200 of them. It's about 6.7 hectares, and it's got a 4-bedroom house and a little bit of machinery and a bit of creek frontage. So it's a little better than a hobby farm, and the trees are certainly capable of producing, although there's some work to do. Good for the hobbyist who wants a little bit of homework when they buy the farm. What do they want for it? 1.475 million. And when the run across the road went for 1.75, I would suspect, in overall terms, that was a better deal than what's on offer here. Is it a sign that prices of macadamia farms are back on the increase in accordance with the macadamia price? Look, that's a good question. Let's explore a little bit further. I'm going to go in a big circle around the Northern Rivers, and by the end of this video, if you stay with me, you can be the judge. Now, before I leave Rosebank entirely, two things. One is I went to see if Brushbox Farm was still for sale up on Repentance Creek Road. It's not, and it's not showing up as sold either, so I'm not quite sure what's happened with that lovely farm. And the second thing is there's another farm for sale in Rosebank at 2,502 Dunoon Road, so the very top of Dunoon Road at the Rosebank end. And I don't know what they want for this one, but it's 70 acres, about 28 and a bit hectares, and quite a nice luxurious home on there, and a self-contained studio. The farm itself is 4,000 trees, again sort of a bit bigger than hobby farm, definitely, and manageable, but it's like a lot of Rosebank farms. It's got some hilly land, and it wouldn't be the easiest farm to look after in wet weather, which it's the opposite of at the moment. You can look around the trees. The row spacings are relatively close. There's not a lot of light in between the trees. And so these are the signs when you're farm shopping that, work is needed, either on a pruning basis or on row removals. If I was a betting man, I'd say row removal might be the answer for this particular farm, particularly because we're on slopes, and wider row spacing is pretty good on slopes. But beautiful outlook, lovely valley that the home is in, no doubt, and could definitely fit a lifestyle farm sort of category for someone looking. On with the next one. Here we are in Dunoon, and it's great. Look at that view. This little property, which is 8 odd hectares, sold in August 2025, and I don't know how many trees it was exactly, but it was a pretty well performing little macadamia farm for that, and managed to get itself a good tonnage of crop in 2022 according to the ad. Anyway, its house consists of a converted shed, although there is an actual entitlement to build a dwelling on it, which is lucky. And it's in on Fraser Road, which is a beautiful little part of Dunoon, as you can see from the rolling hills. Looks like there's not just macadamias growing in the area either. What did it sell for? 1 million on the nose. And, you know, not a bad little buy. I mean, if you've got the money to build a proper house and you only want to work a small number of trees, these were apparently quite productive and the soil looks good. So, that's interesting. Now, while I know nothing about this place at Dunoon, I saw the sign by the road and I just had to stop and show it to you. This orchard claims to be the Clan Macadam orchard at 1594 Dunoon Road, Dunoon. 59 hectares with 11,000 mature macadamia trees. Now, 11,000 trees on 59 hectares is a bit of a squash. You can be fairly sure there haven't been things like row removal done, but there may have been some decent row spacing. And there's an elevated building site, but I don't know that there's necessarily a house here. Anyway, I just thought Clan Macadam was a bit of a stretch. The original Macadam, who macadamias were named after, never even saw a macadamia. It was a name that was dedicated to him by a botanist who described the macadamia in the first place. But if there is a Clan Macadam and they farm macadamias, well, you could be their successor. You'd need to contact the agent for more information on that one. Okay, so the last one we look at before we start to get into the expensive properties is 186 Missingham Road, Dunoon. This one sold back in May 2025 for 1.38 million. What would you get for 1.38 million? Well, you'd get about 1,800 trees. 600 of them are babies, and I think that by the babies they mean this one, looking on the map, this area here. And the varieties are set out as 849, A4, A38, other Hawaiian varieties. So 1,800 trees in total. And they say there's workers' accommodation, which is usually real estate code for it's a shed and they've put a couple of bedrooms in it. So I don't think the price of 1.3 includes an actual house. The land itself, look, it looks nice. Missingham Road's a bit of a dirt road here. There are macadamia farms nearly all the way along it, so it is absolutely macadamia territory. On the cheaper end of it, but no particularly agricultural reason why that is. It's just that at the moment the luxury homes aren't being built out here. So let's move on to an area where that's all a little bit different. Our next property is in Nashua. Now, when I was growing up, Nashua was a Japanese office technology company that sold photocopiers and floppy disks, but here in the Northern Rivers, Nashua was the name of a farm that two Irish brothers set up. Now, no one knows quite why they called it Nashua, and I don't know whether it has an Irish name at all. However, 50 Kings Road in Nashua is up for sale by expressions of interest, and it's a biggie, 72 hectares, so it's got to be over 200 acres. And it's got 10,000 trees in that space. I'm looking through the gate. Obviously, I can't trespass for you, even though I would love to go in there and look at some of this late flowering. I suspect they've got some A varieties on this orchard. But they say they have a 60-tonne yield, which over 10,000 trees isn't heaps, but it's, you know, you wouldn't say no. There's 60 acres of open land as well, so I guess yeah, not all of it's planted, that's for sure. But 10,000 trees, and the ones I can see look in very good condition. And it's got a creek frontage to Skinner's Creek. It's got a very large residence with a pool, a cabana, all sorts of stuff. So here's an example of a few properties that I haven't been able to show you, actually. This is the only one I can really see from the road. I went down Friday Hut Road earlier to try and show you 3 properties, but none of them were actually visible from the gate. We're talking, though, about properties that are very large. Some of them are substantial macadamia farms. You would not call them hobby farms at all, but they've got large, luxurious residences on them. I don't know what they want for this one. It will be expensive, but it's just one of those examples of macadamia farming done in the sort of, I guess, gentlemanly style. I cringe when I say it, but you know, this is a real macadamia farm, but also with a really ritzy residence as well. And it looks pretty well done. I'll be very interested to see what it eventually sells for. Next door in Fernley, it's just as pretty and just as ritzy. On Kirkland's Lane, there aren't many macadamia farms. It's actually quite a long road despite being called a lane. But there's some beautiful macadamia farms in Fernley, and this one at 10 Kirkland's Lane has about 7,000 macadamia trees, 32 hectares of really prime land. This doesn't look overly hilly at all, looks fairly plateau. Quite a ritzy home to boast as well. And it's for sale by expressions of interest, although I don't see any signs up. Contacted the real estate agent, who told me that the guide price is $6.5 million. So again, very much the real macadamia farm with a very gentleman's residence. And the other curiosity here is this is the sign for Tiumba Station, which used to be a little station on the now dead Ballina railway line that led down from the Booyong Junction, with another dead railway line, which is the Casino to Murwillumbah line. And yeah, no one really regretted the end of the Balmain railway, the Ballina railway line. However, the main railway line, it's sorely needed. But that remnant of the station there, I don't know if that's where the station actually was. I don't believe it was, but I'm sure that goes along with the property. Wow, what a lovely looking farm. Can't comment on the trees as such because you can't really get in there, but again, it's a trend in this particular update. There's some really quite ritzy residences with farms attached up for sale. So after Kirkland's Lane, Fernley, we've come to Connor Road, Tregeagle, and unlike Kirkland's Lane, this is Macadamia Central, and one of the properties on that rather famous Macadamia Road is up for sale, and this is number 68 Connor Road. It has 16 hectares, has about it says about 1,400 odd trees, nearly 1,500 trees. It's got plenty of water in tanks, it's got processing sheds, it's got silos. It's a real macadamia farm, and here is a little bit of it. Connor Road, Tregeagle is very red soil, very nice soil. The farmers along here do a great job, and this is why I come here so often to do my videos, or parts of them. And to buy into this little club, one of the things you can count on is when you are in a macadamia intensive area, neighbours do get together and help each other and advise each other. There's also a little bit of pressure in the sense that you've got to do well with your farm, and if you're the one farm that doesn't spray properly or feed properly, you're going to stand out from your peers a little bit. So if you like a little bit of peer pressure to help you get underway, then this could be a great farm for you. As you can see, the land's reasonably flat, and so unlike a lot of the northern properties that I've been showing you, it's reasonably easy to work. And so there's our little property portfolio for 2025. And now it's probably time to draw a few conclusions from all that. Oh, I should add, by the way, that the price guide on that last farm is 2 to 2.2 million. And so, yeah, definitely a lot less ritzy than those expensive lifestyle farms that I took you to earlier. So, in overall terms, I've done a fair bit of research, as I do every year, and there aren't many macadamia farms selling, and I seem to be saying that every single year. Not a lot really changes hands. However, there are trends. And while there are some macadamia farms on the market, or farms that have some element of macadamias, we don't have a whole lot. The farms in this particular area where there's serious macadamia farming done in sort of more normal properties, very, very little is for sale, apart from the one I just showed you. There are one or two on Tregeagle Road. Does that mean the farm market is tightening? I'm not sure yet. I think the jury's still out on which way the macadamia industry is going to go price-wise, and what sort of return on investment you can get. There's certainly small farms that are for sale. There's small farms that have been sold in those that I showed to you. And it's very hard to actually work out a trend on whether the farms are going up or down in price. The overall question of whether it's worthwhile buying a farm, again, depends heavily on the macadamia price and how we cultivate the macadamias. From what I can see, we are looking forward to a fairly good year this year. Our flowering season has just about come to an end, with only really the A's left to finish their flowering. And we've had a nice long flowering season with very little rain. That normally says good things about a macadamia crop. So cross your fingers. If we can combine a good macadamia crop with a good macadamia price, then this time next year, macadamia farms might be even harder to come by. Hope you enjoyed my little tour around the Northern Rivers farms that are for sale or been sold. It's not really a complete tour of the Northern Rivers. There's so much more to see. And even just doing the drive around, while it'll rattle your bones on some of those back roads, it is an absolutely lovely time of year to just go sightseeing, even if you will never buy a macadamia farm yourself. That's my thoughts for now, guys, and I will sign off now from Tregeagle. And just a hint that the next macadamia show, which will be number 25, a special episode, will also be coming from Tregeagle. So stay tuned for that. It's a long one, but it's a good one. Bye for now.